Now, may I request Sri Ram to ask his question?
Hariom Prabhuji. My question to you is this. Imagine you're at a railway junction where the track is being split into two parts, and there's a train coming at full speed and the brakes have failed. You are at the junction. You are at the junction and you have the lever in your hand. So with the lever, you can decide which direction the train takes.
Okay.
Now on one side, there is your mother crossing the tracks.
Okay.
On the other side, there are 4 people working on the track.
Okay.
4 people you don't know. So which side would you send the train?
Oh my God. Either I have to decide between 4 people and my mother.
Yeah, 4 strangers. I mean, they're healthy young people.
I don't have a third choice.
No third choice.
So then I'll pray for my mother and send her. She's old, okay? She's old. So I pray for her and mother. If 4 people versus one mother, it is mother.
Okay, fine.
Prabhuji, I have a PPT and there are some questions in that. I would like to put it in the presentation. Can you tell us about yourself in exactly 3 words?
I am the light.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Now, may I please request Atreya to ask his question?
Okay, so Guruji, my question is, if you want to become a guru, what is the best career option to take to become a guru so that you can sustain your family and everyone around you and also continue your teachings?
So guru is not a career option.
No, any other career option in your life, like a software engineer or a doctor or something.
No, you're asking career option for becoming anything or?
No, a career option, which is the best career option to take if you want to become a guru along with your career, so that you can support your family and yourself.
If you want to become a guru, is not a choice. Okay, so nobody becomes a guru. People call him as guru. So I cannot become guru by aspiration. Nobody can become a prime minister. Say, I want to become prime minister. People have to elect him prime minister. Guru is actually the respect which is given by the people. Nobody can say, I want to become guru. So for you have to develop wisdom, and people see that they call you as guru. Then any career, there's anything you can do. Anything you can do in life, householder, engineer, doctor, anything. As long as the wisdom develops and you are able to share the wisdom, possibly people will call you as guru, but you cannot become guru. You cannot aspire to become guru.
Okay. Thank you, Guru.
Thank you, Atre. That was a nice question. Now, can I please ask Aditi and Anita to ask their questions?
Hari Om Prabhuji.
Hari Om.
Prabhuji, if you were a teenager with certain goals and aspirations, and each of your parents has different expectations from you, then what would you do? How would you deal with that situation?
So here parents have a different aspiration, and I am a teenager, I have a different aspiration. So ultimately I will definitely try to convince my parents, this is what the way I want to go, and this is what the way I want to do. Okay, and of course I will listen to what they say, what are the inhibitions, but my way is always I listen to my elders. I'll discuss with them. I'll discuss my aspiration and try to see, is there a path possible for all of us to agree and go. If there's no agreement possible, then I'll choose my path. My way is to take all people together, my parents and myself, all of us have to think together. This is my way. But because of some reason it doesn't happen, then possibly I have to choose my path.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
That was a very good question. Even I liked it. Now I will again share the PPT, Prabhuji. Now the second question is, who is your favorite superhero? Ishwara, the ruler of the universe, Sadguru, ruler of Jnana, Maya, ruler of all jivas, or devotee, ruler of his or her god?
It's a difficult question. I would say Sadguru, because Sadguru is Ishwara, Sadguru, Maya, and devotee. All of them are when I say speak of Sadguru, all of them are none other than Sadguru. Sadguru is all of these. That's why Sadguru is my favorite superhero. Sadguru is Ishvara, Sadguru is Maya, Sadguru is a devotee. So all of that is Sadguru only.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Now, may I please ask Anagha to ask her question?
Hari Om, Prabhuji.
Hari Om, Anaga.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Prabhuji, our question is, why do we face guilt in life? How do we overcome it?
Okay. So the question is, why do I face guilt in life? So guilt is always related to the past. Okay. Guilt is not about the present or future. It's about all the past. I should not have done this. Right. So actually, if I knew that I should not have done this, I would not have done that. At that time, I didn't know. Right? Nobody will do by willingly they do their mistake. They will do mistake by not knowing. So now I know, I have become mature. Then I can say, look back and say, I should not have done that. At that time, I didn't have wisdom. So what I can say, first thing we have to understand is that in ignorance, I did something. Okay. Now I have wisdom. I have to forgive myself who was ignorant. Myself which is ignorant. First thing. Second thing we have to understand that none of us are independent doers. The God operates through us. It is the God's will which happened at that time. It's the God's will which I come to know at this time. If I surrender to God's will, then I have no guilt. I understand. The God gave me the will. God gave me the thought at the time. God gave me the wisdom now. So it's the God, I surrender to God rather than worrying about the guilt. Does it answer your question?
Yes, how to rectify it now, Guru Prabhuji?
No, there are many things in life we cannot rectify. Okay. There are not many things in life we can rectify. There are some things which in life possible to rectify. Some things are not possible to rectify. So let us say there is something possible to rectify, definitely rectify. Then the question doesn't come how to rectify. Right? The question comes, how to rectify it will come because you're not able to do it. So in that situation, you do amendment, means what you call prayaschitta. For example, let us say you hurt a old man. The old man is no longer there. You cannot rectify it now. Now, the prayaschitta or amendment is do service to other old men. Right? So you hurt a woman. That woman is no longer there. You cannot rectify it now. You, as a prayaschitta or amendment, do the service to other old women. And pray to God so that to give me the wisdom not to repeat the mistake. Is that clear?
Yes, Prabhuji. Can I ask one more, please?
Yes.
Anish? Okay. When do we recognize that our bad times and bad karmas are over? How do we know?
See, there's nothing called bad karma. This itself is the question is invalid in the sense there's nothing called bad karma. So the karma is neither bad or good. Okay. The karma is what we have done comes to us. right? When we did something, we don't know if it's bad or good. What we did appears to us. Now, why do we call it as bad? Because we are not comfortable with the result which is coming. Comfortable. We are uncomfortable with the result which is coming. Right? If good things happen, we say good karma, or bad things happen, we call it bad karma. But karma is neutral in that sense. So when the bad karma is, if a good karma is done, it comes in the form of punya. It gives me happiness. If I've done something wrong, it comes in the form of papa. It hurts me. This is the good and bad. But karma itself is neutral. Now, whether good karma or bad karma, papa or punya comes to you, it's your judgment which makes a difference, not the karma itself. For example, when I go out in the sun in the morning, okay, it starts raining, then I call it a bad day. The day cannot be bad. The day is what it is. Bad day is my judgment. My judgment is making a day bad. Day is never bad. Karma is neither good nor bad. My judgment of karma is bad karma or good karma, depending on I'm happy or unhappy. So here we have to stop. The judgment about karma is good or bad. Whatever comes in life, we have to accept it. Because karma is what I have done comes to me. If I have posted a letter to my own address, it will come to me. So the karma is my own posting to me. So I should not say my own posting is bad or good. Just accept as a God's will. The moment you accept God's will, the karma stops bothering you. That is the time you are free from karma. You understand? It's not a time. It's your acceptance. Let us say something very bad thing happens to you. So you can cry, oh, when this bad karma has come, when will it end? Just do namaskar to God. God, what I have done, you have given to me. Show me the way how I can be peaceful and learn from this lesson. In that moment, you are free from karma. It's not about time. It's about acceptance. It's about to surrender to God.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
It does make sense, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for the wonderful questions.
Very good. Wonderful. Very nice question.
Can I request Mohita to ask her questions?
Namaste, Prabhuji.
Namaste.
My question is, what should be our approach towards Guru and elders at younger age?
See, Anaga, very nice question. Okay. Our Sanatan Dharma or Sanatan Dharma teaches, Matra Devo Bhava. The mother is, we have to see God in mother. Pitra Devo Bhava. We have to see God in father. Acharya Devo Bhava. My guru is God. Right? Atithi Devo Bhava. Guests who are coming to my house, the God only comes in the form of guest. Guru Devo Bhava. Guru is God appearing in the form of Guru. So we have to learn to see God in father, God in mother, God in guest, and God in Guru. Right? Why do you have to see God in God in everybody? When we see God in my father, God in my mother, God in Guru, and God in the guest, okay, my mind becomes pure. Then I can see God in myself. Right? If you are not able to appreciate God in others, how can you appreciate God in you? So you should have respect to all the people, not only just father, mother, to the whole world. God is there in the form of various beings. So that's why we do namaskara like this. Right? Namaskara means my left hand, my right hand. The left hand represents my inner self, my inner light. Right hand represents your inner light. My inner light, Atma Jyoti, and your inner light, Atma Jyoti, which is God, divine light, is one. Then we have to bow. So always you have to remember, God is in everyone, God is in me, and we have to respect that God. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. Is that clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you for the question. I will again share the screen for the PPT. Yes. So Prabhuji, it is said that there is Guru principle in everything. Guru is everywhere. How do you apply that for very bad and a criminal friend of yours? How can he be your Guru?
Okay. So wonderful question, Adish. Guru principle is there in everything and everywhere. That's why Akhanda Mandala Akaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam. Guru is there everywhere. Okay. So what is Guru? Whatever teaches us, whatever we can learn from anything or anybody is a Guru teaching. So from good people, I can learn good things. That means Guru is teaching me. From bad people, I can learn what I should not do. So a person who is a criminal or is a bad person, I have to learn what I should not do, which will hurt others. So both teachings are right. Both teachings are good. One is what I should do and what I should not do. So the person who is a criminal teaches me what I should not do. So then I also understand there's no criminal as a person. The actions are criminal, but the God only is there in the heart of everybody. So I would respect the person, but I will not accept the actions done by the person. So from the actions I learn what should not be done. In that sense, for me, everybody is a Guru, a good person and bad person. God only in the form of good person and bad person is teaching me what to do and what not to do. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you. Now, can I please request Satvik to ask his question?
Okay, so my question is, say one of your best friends cheats on an exam, and only the punishment for cheating is very harsh. They're going to expel your friend, and he probably won't find another school to get into. So what are you going to do?
I mean, my friend is going to be, he has cheated and he is going to be expelled from the school.
No,
Right?
no one knows that he has cheated other than you. So do you report him or not?
No, what I will do, I will go and talk to him and I will tell him, do not cheat. I'll help him. I'll try to find out how I can help him to stop cheating.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay. My purpose is not to expel him from the school. By expelling him in school, he will not learn anything. By helping him to come out of cheating habit, will be to help him to come out of the habit of cheating, to come out how he can become a better person rather than getting him expelled.
Okay, but he has done something wrong, right? So shouldn't he be punished for it?
So the question is, if somebody does something wrong, the punishment is given. What is the purpose of punishment?
So that he can learn not to do it again.
So he can learn what to do. But if I teach him before the punishment itself, what to do,
so that way he won't do it again.
that we want to do it now. So there are a lot of criminals in the world, right? They didn't want to become criminals because they like it. They have become by circumstance.
Yes.
If they are able to help and understand their situation and help them, they would not have become criminals.
Okay.
The punishment is a harsh way to stop the criminal, but that may not stop them because the correction is required in the heart, in the mind.
Okay, so in this case, the best way for your friend to learn is that if you teach him not to do it again and to help him.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Prabhuji.
So we should be always compassionate and help.
Okay, Prabhuji.
To become a better person rather than taking a revenge or punishment.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Prabhuji.
Thank you for the question. Most of us can relate. If some friend cheats of yours, then we can relate it. Can I please ask Vineet to ask his question?
Hari Om Prabhuji.
Hari Om.
So my question was, to be successful in life, you need to be able to adapt to things quickly, and you need to be like water. You should take forms and then leave it and then again continue and all of that. So like, how do you make sure you can do that? How do you stay formless and like whatever circumstance you have, change that, and then do what you're supposed to do.
So can you make the form the sentence clearly, question clearly? So how do you be formless and
Based on the circumstance, how do you keep making changes, quick changes based on the circumstances, and not stay rigid?
Oh, not stay rigid. Okay. See, the circumstance in life will change. That's the nature of life, right? There's nothing in the life which is stationary and constant.
Yeah.
Everything in the world changes, correct? So now, if I don't accept the change, then I'll hang on to that. I don't want to change. So when I hang on to that, I'm rigid.
Okay.
Right? First, I have to understand the nature of the world. Everything in the nature changes. Job, profession, money, technology, people, friends, relatives, everything changes. The change is the only thing which is constant in nature. If I understood and accepted it, then I will not hold on to something which is changing. Then what I'll do, if something changes, then next question I'll ask is, this has changed by its nature. Then what should I do? I'll act, I don't react. Reaction comes only when I don't accept the change. So
you have to accept it first thing.
Yeah, accept it because of knowledge that everything changes.
Okay.
See, we don't want to accept changes. That's the problem, right? For example, the fire burns. Will you get angry fire because it burns?
No, you shouldn't, because you know it's
the fire
nature
to
of
burn.
it.
It is the nature of the world to change. So then I should not feel bad or hurt. I should say, what should I do? If fire is nearby, I should now avoid the fire. So action will become important when you understand the nature of the world. Reaction will not be there. Does that answer your question? Very nice question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for that question, Vineet. Now, Bhuji, why do you think that learning from a living guru is better than reading books by great gurus like Adi Shankaracharya or Ramana Maharishi?
Okay. Very nice question. See, the books from great guru like Adi Shankaracharya and Ramana Maharishi will definitely help. There's no doubt about it. Okay. But learning from a living master is important. Why? Because living master is the living book. His life is the book. When you see the example of life through the master, then your learning is better. For example, you can read a complete book on love. Oh, you can write a lot of things about love, but still you will not understand love. You see, when there's love, when love from a master flows to the disciple or anybody, it's a real living experience. So now the bookish knowledge helps you to understand. The living master helps you to live the truth in the presence of the master. The truth which is there printed in the book becomes a living truth. Example is in front of you that we can imbibe in our life, inculcate in our life. So you can have a lot of books on peace, a lot of things you can read on peace. Still, when you go to a forest and you find the environment is peaceful, the experience itself is important. In the presence of a living master, many of the spiritual truths become living truths, the living experience which is available in front of you. So books are important, books are helpful, but living master is very important. And also another thing is that what is there in the book, you can also always think, misunderstand based on your own impressions. Some book says, love thy neighbor. You love your neighbor. So if the person's impressions are wrong, he'll say, love goes and loves his neighbor's wife. So you'll start interpreting what is there in the book in your mind. A living master will correct it. No, this is not the correct, this is not the understanding. This is the right understanding. Interpretation, any interpretation, wrong understanding of scriptures can happen only in the living master's presence. It is like asking a question that medical books are there. Then why do you need a doctor? The books will give 100 types of diseases. The doctor will look at you and exactly know what disease is there and what medicine has to be given. And he will also be able to tell you what you are doing right or wrong. The books will not be able to tell you. Then you have a question about spirituality. The book will not give the answer. Okay, the master will give the answer. So the spiritual truth learning is learning from the life of the master. The service he does, his peace and love is a learning. Then clarification he gives is a learning. The teaching he gives a learning. The books cannot provide that substitute for a master. If books can provide the substitute master, we don't need a doctor. We can do medical books. If books can substitute a swimming coach, I can take a swimming book and learn. That's not possible. Music, if I have to learn, music book is sufficient. That's not sufficient. Music teacher is required because correction is required. It's a two-way process. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Prabhuji, it does.
Thank you. Nice question.
Now I would like to call Kritik to answer his, to ask his.
Oh, Kritik.
Hari Om Prabhuji.
Hari Om, Kritik.
So my question is, if you're in a situation where you have to lose one of your powers, these powers are very useful. The powers are health and knowledge. Which would you lose?
You are giving a choice between health and knowledge. So I lose health because I can recover health by knowledge. If I know knowledge, then health will not help me. If I have knowledge today or tomorrow, I can know how to recover my health.
Oh, okay.
Which one I will prefer to lose?
Yes.
I prefer to lose health because knowledge I can gain back with knowledge. Does that answer? You're satisfied or not satisfied?
I'm satisfied.
Okay.
I would ask Namit to ask his question.
Hari Om Prabhuji, I have 3 questions.
Okay.
My first question is, Prabhuji, in your childhood days, had you fought with your siblings? If you had fought, how did you resolve it?
Oh, I didn't have, in my childhood, I didn't have opportunity to fight with my siblings. I am the eldest. Okay, I had we are five brothers and 1 sister. As the eldest brother, I was respected and I was supposed to take care and help others. So people will respect my words. My brothers used to respect my words. So I had no opportunity to fight because there's no reason for fighting.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Prabhuji, and my second question is, Prabhuji, in your childhood days, how did you balance, when you were studying IIT, I know IIT is not a cakewalk, so how did you balance IIT and spiritual learning? Did you quit spiritual learning?
No. See, it is spirituality and IIT, spirituality and job, spirituality, family are not opposite of each other.
Okay.
We think that either this or that. It is not either this or that, both are required. Spirituality helps me to keep my mind peaceful, okay, in any given situation. Spirituality, what is the use of a peaceful mind if I am sitting in some place where I don't do any work, don't study? What is the use of that? So study is required and peace is required. So what I do in IIT also, early morning I used to get up and do yoga and meditate. That keeps my mind peaceful and my performance in the IIT is very good. Same thing is true in the job. So meditation and study of Vedanta, and I do it when I have spare time, I do it. That gives me peace and inner strength. Then that I apply in life. So they are not opposite of each other. Both are required, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you.
And my third question is, Prabhuji, how should we handle and react for bullying, Prabhuji?
Oh, you're bullying in your school.
So many now bullying has increased in so many schools. Like now it's Corona, so bullying is not. There's no opportunity for bullying, but in schools 2 years back and all there was bullying. So how should we react for that, Prabhuji?
See, a bully gets a strength. Okay, a bully does the bullying.
Yeah.
Because you feel afraid. So he like to see you afraid.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Right? Bully does some doing. Bully does the bullying because he feels you are weak, and if you show you are weak, you are crying, you are afraid, the bully's power increases. It is like a dog, right? When you go and dog starts barking, then what should be your reaction?
Prabhuji, like, what do you mean? Like, is it coming near me, or is it just?
So dog is barking, right? So then, if you start running, dog will chase you.
Yeah.
If you are not afraid, the dog will stop barking.
Yeah, Prabhu.
So when bully is trying to bully you, okay, if you have the courage, not getting afraid, the bully will not be able to bully you.
Okay, Prabhu.
That's the first thing, right?
Yeah.
So the bully gets the power because I can overpower this person. This person is weak. But if you have the inner strength, you smile and face, the bully will lose his power. So that's one situation. Second situation is, if you are not able to do that, what to do? Then you have to take the help of your teacher or your parents to face the situation. The first situation is better because you have inner strength, you can face him. Okay. The second situation is you have to take the help of the parents and try to address the situation. Does that answer question?
Yes, Prabhuji. It answers my question.
Okay. There are only two ways now. You have inner strength, you face him. If you face him, he'll run away. He'll not be able to bully. If you don't have inner strength, take the help of parents or the teacher to face the situation. Then also he'll run away, because the moment parent or teacher comes into picture, the bully will be afraid.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Thank you for the questions, Namit. Now, Prabhuji, let's imagine that you're back in your childhood and you did not score well in the exam. What will you do? You will cry as loudly as possible, blame the teachers, the system of the school, or your parents, punish yourself by not watching TV, or play till you get good grades. None of the above. Why will you do that?
So if I didn't get a good score, then I'll not do 1, 2, 3. I'll not cry. I'll not blame teacher. I'll not punish myself. I'll say, I didn't do well. So I'll try to find out what I didn't do well, why I didn't do well. Then I'll try to improve myself rather than blaming the situation or blaming the teacher or crying. There's nothing else I can do. I can say, oh, I didn't do well. Let me see what I can do. I'll put more effort to do better next time. Does that answer your question, Adish?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I request Mihir to ask his question.
Hariom Prabhuji.
Hariom Mihir.
I have 2 questions.
Okay.
First question is, how did you conquer anger, and what can I do to conquer anger?
Okay. So what is anger, right? What is anger? When does the anger come? When something is going not according to your wish. we'll get anger. This is not right. This should not happen. We'll get angry. True or false?
It's true, Prabhuji.
So now, what can go wrong can go wrong. So now that situation is like that, then I start feeling bad. Oh, I can't change it. I don't have control to change it. I feel helpless to control or change what's happening. So the first thing is things are not happening. Second is I'm feeling helpless in the given situation, right? So why I'm feeling helpless? Because I don't have control of the situation. Now, I have to understand there are only two types of situation. Situation we can change, situation we cannot change. This is a situation which cannot be changed. By feeling helpless, I am blaming myself for the situation. I should not blame myself for the situation. I should see what I can change. If I cannot change, I have to accept it. If that attitude is there in life, change what you can, accept what you can't. If there is a change which I can't change, accept it. Then I'll not feel helpless. Then I'll not feel anger. If I can change, I'll not feel helpless or anger. So the principle which I adopt is change what you can, accept what you can't, but never feel helpless, because this one situation which has come in life, you are not helpless. You have the ability to correct the situation. Helplessness causes anger, right? You are taking the external situation internally, helplessness. I would say, I can change this situation, I'll do it. I cannot change this situation, I'll accept it, try for something better. I'll never feel helpless, I'll never give up. Then I'll never feel angry. I'm action oriented. Anger is reaction. When you become action oriented, there's no anger. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Prabhuji. And my second question is,
Oh, okay.
did you get the knowledge by reading the scriptures or by thinking and contemplating about it?
Oh, did I get the knowledge by reading or not reading? I got the knowledge of the wisdom because many people contribute in my life. My yoga guru taught me yoga for many years. And my friend life has taught me so many things in life. The good things, bad things, ugly things, what I should do, what I should not do. I learn from life. The life is a book for me. My masters taught me. My guru taught me. The life has given tremendous experience in the form of masters, in the form of friends, in the form of teachers, in the form of experience in life. So I learned a lot of things from life. Okay, then I learned many things by applying these experiences, by understanding and meditating. Meditation gives me a lot of clarity in my mind. Meditation removes the junk. So external experiences, I contemplate, meditate, and that gives me clarity. Experiences are the inputs. Meditation and contemplation gives the solution. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Wonderful.
Thank you for those two questions, Mihir. They were really nice. Now I request Shiva to ask his question. I request Shiva to ask his question.
Sorry about that. It was an internet issue. So, Guruji, what is the best time in life to enjoy? Is it in childhood or is it in adulthood?
See, the enjoyment is not dependent on time. When you say enjoyment, we always look for enjoyment from something or some situation. In childhood, I get something, I'll enjoy. In adulthood, I get something, I enjoy. So enjoyment is not dependent on external situations or external conditions. So if you are not, if your enjoyment or happiness doesn't depend on external conditions, external situations, there's no time, adulthood or childhood. So in childhood, people enjoy. There's a reason for that. Reason is there's no responsibility. There's no responsibility on your head. So you play. They don't have to worry about earning. So papa and mama, father and mother will take care. So responsibility is there on the father and mother. So you enjoy. As you become adult, you start becoming worrying. Oh, I am only responsible. What will I take care? How do I take care? So a responsibility sits on your head. Okay. So now, if you understand that responsibility is not on my head, the God is responsible. I'm just an instrument. Every moment of your life, enjoy. So you are enjoying as a childhood because papa and mama are responsible. Then they'll take care. If you understand that God is taking care of our every part of our, every aspect of our life, every moment of your life is enjoyable.
Okay.
Okay. God is taking care of my breathing, my heartbeat, my eyes. So God is responsible. God is taking care of everything. Why should I worry? Then every moment of your life is enjoyable. It is like some person who is sitting in the train. He is keeping suitcase on his head. The ticket collector comes and asks, why are you keeping suitcase on your head? He says, I want to make sure that the suitcase come to my next station where I'm getting down. The ticket collector says, keep the suitcase down. The train is going, you are also going. So the God is taking care of our life. If that understanding is there, I feel relaxed. And every moment of life becomes enjoyable. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Guruji.
Okay, wonderful question.
Thank you, Shiva, for the question. Now, Prabhuji, if today was your last day, how will you spend the day?
If today is my last day, I will spend the day as usual. I have nothing special because every day I live as my last day. Every day when I sleep, I don't know whether I'll get up in the tomorrow morning. So every day I consider as my last day. So 24 hours of my life, okay, is the only thing which I have. I don't know about tomorrow. I don't know about day after tomorrow. Tomorrow, whether it will come or not, I don't know. When the breath goes in, I don't know whether when the breath goes out, I don't know whether it will come in. So everything is God's grace. So today I have got 24 hours. That 24 hours, I will use it in 3 ways. First part of it, what is required by my day-to-day life? Eating, doing something, taking care of the house, taking care of some cleaning, all those things which is my routine job. What I do, I'll use for some time. Then some time I'll use for earning my family, earning for myself and my family. So now remaining time is free time for myself, for my family is over. Now the remaining time I divide into 2. Atmano mokshartam jagaditaya. For self-realization, I have to spend some time, which is Shravana, Manana, Nidhyasa. Listening to the truth, contemplation and meditation. That's what I spend some time. Then some time I have to spend for Jagatitaya, service to the world. So whatever I learned, I share with people and teach. This is my routine every day. It doesn't mean whether I don't know whether when is my last day. So I do it every day thinking that this is the only day I have got. So first part is for myself. Second part is for the house. Third part is for taking care of family. Then Atmano Mokshata, spiritual relation. Then Jagatitaya, service to the world. This is how my day will be spent, 24 hours. At the end of the day, when I go to sleep, I'll tell to God, God, you are giving me 24 hours. I'm very thankful to you. I've used my 24 hours in the right way. That's my every day, not just because today is the last day. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Now, I would like to call Manya to ask her questions.
Hari Om Prabhuji.
Hari Om Manya.
So, Prabhuji, suppose you are studying in a school where the students whose parents are working in the same institution are given priority, and the other students are ill-treated and are deprived from all the opportunities. And the teachers and the principals are also playing a major part in this, which is actually leading to a bullying environment in the school campus.
Mm-hmm.
Now you are unable to change your school due to some issues in your family front. In this situation, how will you solve these problems and overcome them?
Very, very tough question. Very tough question. As a child and student, I may not have the ability to change the environment. Right? I may not have the ability to face the teacher, and actually exactly what you told, the situation happened in my school, my life. It's not a hypothesis, it is actual exact situation. When I was studying in a school where the headmaster was alcoholic. Okay. And he used to drink and come to the school. It is a government school and there's nobody to ask. And he used to bully. And he had his students who are actually go to the tuition. He'll do favor to them. The situation you told exactly. And I don't have the situation to change the headmaster because he'll come and beat me. I don't have the situation to, I don't have to do anything to do to change the situation. So the situation is exactly what you told, and it really happened in my life. So then what I said, and the teaching is not there. The school teachers don't come to school. And I see my friends are suffering. So what I did, I made a group of my friends. I said, the teaching is very difficult here. The teachers are not teaching, they are doing tuition. There's a lot of bullying going on. Those who suffer, those who are poor, I collected them together. And I started teaching them. I started teaching my own classmates.
Wow.
Okay. I became actually, there's the first lesson I learned in my life. I am not able to change the situation. I'm not able to change my headmaster. If I change the headmaster, he'll come and beat me. The alcoholic, the teachers are doing tuition. My friends are suffering. So I collected my friends and started conducting classes in my house. Okay. That I did. Then what happened? We didn't have a science laboratory. So what I did is I used all this waste material and created a laboratory in my house. I taught science and subjects to my friends. I tried to help them. In reality, I helped myself. So what happens is when you start teaching, your understanding becomes clearer. You become better. Okay. When I started teaching science to my friends, I have to study science first. I have to understand clearly, then I have to teach. So my understanding became very clear. So I helped myself by helping others. So I stood first in the school that year. Actually, in reality, I should have failed. And many of my friends passed instead of failing in the bad situation. So that life, which is a real situation, gave me very good lesson in life. Help others, you are helping yourself. When you teach others, the one who is teaching becomes better. So actually, when I teach, every time when I teach a subject of Vedanta or any subject, I am becoming better and better. So this taught me service is the way to survival. Service is the way to grow. Service is seva is what makes your life.
Wow, truly inspiring, Prabhuji. Really.
Thank you.
This is the exact situation I too was facing about 2 years back. So I didn't know how to handle this, but now I certainly know how to do it. But yeah, I obviously couldn't teach all of my friends, but somehow I did overcome all of this.
Wonderful, Maya.
Now I have another question. If there is one thing you could tell every student, then what would that be?
If there's one thing in every student, what will that be? So for every student, there's only one thing which I want to tell. You are divine. You are God. Your inner light, Atma Jyoti, is the God. You have infinite potential. Never give up in life. Let the light shine. It will shine as you put effort in life. So discover the divinity in your life. That's what I want to tell every student or everybody. Discover the Atma Jyoti, light of self in you.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Manya.
And now please imagine yourself that you were one of the Dwarapalakas of Lord Vishnu in Vaikuntha, and you were cursed by those 4 Sanat Kumaras. then would you rather take 7 births on earth as the devotee of Lord Vishnu, or will you take 3 births as his enemies, like how they did?
So this is a hypothetical question. I would rather take 7 births as devotee of God rather than 3 births as enemy of God.
Wow, Prabhuji. Now, finally, if you could gift 5 books to everybody, then which 5 books would that be?
5 books.
Yes.
Okay. Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, right? So Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, 2 books. Then any book which is motivational, become successful in life. So the power of your subconscious mind is another book. Then I will give the book which is related to his field. Somebody is interested in science, I'll tell you science. Somebody is interested in their subject matter, let's say art, I'll give the art. Then one more book is remaining. What is that? What do I do with that book? Which book is that? So the one more book, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, definitely I'll give. And the last book which I'll give is possibly how to become successful in life. It's like there's a very good book by Swamiji in Mysore. It's called Badukulu Kaliri, how to live your life. So that book I'll give. A motivational book, a spiritual book, and book which will help you in life.
Okay, thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Manya.
Thank you so much for those questions, Manya. I could relate to most of them myself. Now, Lipika has a question she wants to ask. Lipika, you can ask the question.
Namaste, Prabhuji.
Namaste, Lipika.
I'm studying in 5th standard.
Okay.
How to overcome stage fear?
Oh, how to overcome stage fear. Right. First thing, you are in 5th standard, right? So everything is a practice. Okay. It's like you become better by doing some practice. Correct, no? So the speaking is also a practice, or singing is a practice. Singing in front of people is also practice. First, you try to do in a small environment where people will not mock at you, people will not tease you, right? When it's in the front of friendly audience, then pick up your skills. Like anything, this speaking also is a skill. So for that, in the iLead program, we take you through different stages of speaking. Okay. The first stage of speaking, we say, you tell a story, and people who dare don't criticize you. Then you will start learning story. You'll get a confidence. As I can tell a story and people don't criticize me, people love me. Then you start improving your skills, how to tell the story. So your ability to communicate improves. Then we take you to a small public talk. We give you an opportunity for you to talk public or talk on, let's say, Vivekananda's life, Independence Day. So 3 minutes, 4 minutes, then you'll get a confidence, right? Then we give you opportunity for a debate for you. So then you'll get more confidence. Then we'll take you through public speaking where people give you feedback. So it's a skill like learning cycling or anything that will remove your fear of public speaking. Does that answer your question?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
It is like learning anything in life now, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So first, if you have to learn cycling, you learn cycling outside where there is no traffic. Then you learn cycling in traffic. The true cycling in traffic. Like that, public speaking, you have to learn in a place where people are friendly, we give good feedback. So we have created the environment where people you get good feedback without getting afraid. Understand? Wonderful. Thank you, Lipika.
Thank you, Lipika, and thank you, Prabhuji. Now, Chirantan wants to ask a question.
Hariom, Prabhuji.
Hariom, Chirantan.
Prabhuji, how to set the goal? I am 9 years and my goals keep on changing and changing.
How to set the goal and how to my goals keep on changing, right? So if you know if you know the road, then you can take steps. If you don't know the road, you cannot take the steps, right? Why do you want to have a goal? Why do you want to have a goal?
To achieve something.
Why do you want to achieve something?
To become good person.
To become good person, you want to achieve something, for that's a goal, right? So whenever you set a goal, if you are clear how it helps you to become a good person, your goal will be more clear.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Right? Any goal, if you set, if you are very clear, this will help me to become a good person, your focus on the goal will be more. Then will the goal change?
No.
So if you are clearly about the benefit, then the goal will not change. How it will help you to become a better person? How it will help the society? If the clarity is there, the goal will not change. If the clarity is not there, goal will change.
Okay.
Understand?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So for example, if you get a sweet and you get a khara, the bitter, so which one will you choose?
Sir.
Sweet you will choose.
Sweet.
Right? Why? You know it will benefit you. You will not choose the bitter. Right? Benefit of that you know very well now. So by setting a goal, you should be very clear what is the benefit it will give to me.
Yes.
If you are very sure about the benefit, then you will never change. If you are not sure about the benefit, you will change. The clarity about the benefit is what makes it goal fixed. Are we clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Chirantan, for that question. Now, Prabhuji, I'll again share my screen for the PPT.
Very good.
Now, Prabhuji, if Brahman comes and asks you to choose one of the following, which one will you choose and why? Teach Brahma Jnana, self-knowledge, rule the country which is in a very bad state, take care of your parents, or start something like protection for animals.
So Brahman cannot come and ask me to choose anything because Brahman is the self. Brahman will not ask for a choice. Brahman doesn't give a choice. So Brahman is the Atma. The self is Brahman. So Brahman will not come and ask the question, what will he choose? Right? Brahman is not an object. Brahman is not a person who will come and ask. So that means the question is ruled out. Now, if I have to choose something out of these four, I'll definitely choose teaching of Brahmadnana, not because Brahman asks, because that's what I love. Does it answer your question, Adish?
Yes, Prabhuji, it answers the question.
Thank you.
Which one will you choose if you were given a choice? A day out with Mr. Narendra Modi, lunch with ISRO scientists, or dinner with the Indian Army?
Oh, very difficult choice. Very difficult choice. I would choose a lunch with ISRO scientists because science is what appeals to me and I can learn something from the scientists. From Modi ji, I may not be able to learn something. Modi ji is a prime minister, is wonderful. I'm fascinated by his personality and I learned from his distance. I don't need, there's nothing which I can learn from closer. But from scientists, I can learn a lot of things. Dinner with the Indian Army is more of honoring the army. I would use the opportunity to learn something from the ISRO scientists. Does it answer your question, Adish?
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, my friend had asked me, why should children learn spirituality? How will it help them for their studies or job or any competitive exams they have?
Okay. The spirituality, people don't understand what is the meaning of spirituality. spirituality is a buzzword. The spirituality means simply making the mind peaceful. Spirituality means understanding about life in clarity. What is life? Spirituality is about how do I interact with the society in a meaningful way, which will benefit me and the society. So spirituality is about way of living, which is harmonious with the society, harmonious with the environment, and harmonious with yourself. So who does not want peace? The children also want peace. The adults also want peace. If you are peaceful, your studies will be better. If you are peaceful, your fights and interaction with society, fights will be less. Your interaction with society will be beautiful. So it is not about spirituality. It's about clarity and peace. Do the children need it? Definitely they need it. So that's why spirituality is important.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Now, last question, Prabhuji. If there was nothing called spirituality or enlightenment, what would you be teaching right now to all of us?
Right now also, there's nothing called spirituality or enlightenment. Right now, I'm teaching only how to be peaceful with yourself, how to have clarity in life. The name is spirituality is given to that. That's why society. Reality is about to be peaceful, about meaningful life. How do I become peaceful myself, and how do I relate myself to the society? That I call as Atmano Mokshartham Jagaditaya. Spirituality is a buzzword name, really to be peace with yourself and to benefit, to be useful to the society is my life. And that's, if people call it spirituality, I don't know.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you.
I thank Prabhuji and all the iLeads, whoever have asked their questions. Does anyone have any questions, extra questions? Anyone? They can unmute and ask. Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you all the iLeads whoever had asked questions. All the questions were entertaining. We learned a lot from Prabhuji's explanations. And I once again thank Prabhuji for giving so many solutions to all our day-to-day or lifelong problems.
It was wonderful with you to be with you, all of you. The questions were very deep and probing. I was afraid of what question this will come next. And very intelligent questions, very smart questions, and very relevant questions. I enjoyed answering these questions. Thank you, children, for asking wonderful questions and giving me an opportunity to answer to them.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I will call out Mohita and Anaga for the closing prayers for the quiz session. I would request Mohita and Anaga to chant the closing prayers.
Mohita is in there.
Okay.
Adish, we are not seeing Mohita here. Can Anaga start?
Yeah, Anaga can start.
Okay.
Om Satoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityoma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This mantra means lead me from untruth to truth, darkness to light, impermanence to permanence. Om Purnamada Purnamida Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaha Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This mantra means that is complete, this is complete. When completeness is removed from completeness, what remains is complete. When completeness is added to completeness, totally remains complete. Om, peace, peace, peace. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining this session.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, children.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Wish you all a very happy Guru Purnima. May God bless you. May Sadguru bless all of you with wisdom. May the divine light shine in you the light of love, light of peace, light of happiness. May a lot of great service be done by you for the whole country. May all people benefit from your service. God bless you.